إن الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. ثم أما بعد, we talk in the last time about the important values in Islam, and we said we will go through a quick review of the most important concept and values in Islam. And we said the number one was the mercy, ar-rahmah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as he said in the Holy Quran, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ, we did not send you but mercy to mankind, to all the worlds that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created. And then number two, we said حسن الخلق, the good manners. When Rasulullah said إنما بعثت لأتمم صالح الأخلاق or مكارم الأخلاق, I was sent only to complete the good manners. And today inshallah we will speak about a third value, or the third value, which is al-amal al-jama'i, the concept of collective work, or the teamwork spirit. This spirit to work together in any society or any community is the key for success. And we said that there is a lot of examples that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us, some ayat, some verses in the Quran and the hadith of Rasulullah sallam, and actually what we do, what the people did all in the history, and what they're doing right now. And we started with that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Fatiha. And again, sometimes we don't have what we call يعني الصورة الذهنية, or the mental image. I want you to think and live in this. Surah Al-Fatiha, we recite at least 17 times a day. And Muslims now over 1.8 billion or 1.7 billions. And if we said that only 1 billion praying, not counting Salat Sunnah, not counting Qiyam al-Layl, not counting reciting the Quran without prayer, at least we will recite Surah Al-Fatiha as Ummah. Earth will listen to Muslims repeating this 17 billion times a day. 17 billion times a day. Divide by 24, divide by 60 to see how many times this surah, almost like every second, over 200,000 times, every second, 200,000 times Surah Al-Fatiha is repeated. There is a wisdom behind this. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this great surah told us that we make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We pray to Allah by saying, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدْ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينَ. We only worship you and we only seek help from you. We don't say, I seek help or I worship you. You say, we together. When we do any, not all the ibadat, not all the act of worships, you can do some by yourself, because there is a personal need from the ibadat that you need to do by yourself. But the major ibadat, whatever salah or hajj or even zakah, all of them you will see there is a touch of collective work or teamwork. And start from Surah Al-Fatiha. When you repeat this over and over and by saying we, it will engrave in your heart and your mind the concept of teamwork. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran told us, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا, and hold firmly to the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and don't be divided. And subhanallah, when you think about this concept that we together we hold to the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to the rule of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this dunya, by working together. Rasulullah in many ahadith he mentioned yadullahi ma'al jama'a. There is part of different ahadith that ta'amul wahid yakfi al-ithnayn wa ta'amul ithnayn yakfi al-arba'a wa yadullahi ma'al jama'a. The food for one will be enough for two, and the food for two will be enough for four, and the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the jama'a, with the teamwork. And subhanallah, when you analyze any of the ibadat. We'll take, as I said in the Arabic khutbah, and again, forgive me if you attend the khutbah in Arabic. Usually I will give 2 khutbah during 1 month or through the month. One will be in Arabic and the same khutbah will be translated into English. So this way both the people who love to listen to Arabic would benefit, and English, inshallah. And again, the reason we emphasize on giving khutbah in Arabic is to preserve the language of the Quran. Arabic again is not the language that belong to a certain race or belong to a certain region. Arabic, as Imam Ibn Taymiyyah said, هي لغة القرآن وشعار الإسلام. It is the language of the Quran and the flag of Islam. So what we need is we need to practice the language. Even if you're learning Arabic by listening to different speeches, to different khutbah in Arabic, you will be able to recognize many words, inshallah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through act of one worship, which is as-salah, and through the collective work of the salah, will teach us many lessons. And the most important one is what I call is تغيير السلوك الإنساني, how to shape the human behavior, how to change the behavior of people in any society. And of course there's a lot of theories and there's a lot of ulama, but I don't think there is a book that people had on this earth more successful than the Quran to change the human behavior, whatever on the theory level or in the practical level. And we'll take salah as an example today. When we come to Salat al-Jama'ah, what will happen? And I invite everyone to come to Salat al-Jama'ah for many reasons, and one of them is what is the reward of coming to pray in the masjid? Regardless of different opinion that Salat al-Jama'ah, to pray in the masjid, is obligatory upon individual Muslims, or it's fard kifaya, which meaning if 2 or 3 came to pray, they will be sufficient for the community around the masjid. But if no one come to Salat al-Jama'ah and the Jama'ah was not established in any masjid, the whole area, the whole people in this area will sin. Right? So you can rely on other people. But it reminds me of this beautiful story about a king or a mayor in his city. He asked everyone to bring 1 cup of milk, and he built a huge tank. And he asked everyone to fill the tank with 1 cup of milk. So one man said, you know what, I will put 1 cup of water, and what it will do compared to all this amount, all this volume of milk. So the following day, when they opened the tank, it was full of water. Why? Because all of them thought the same. And this is a problem. You have to do your role. You have to do your part. And then don't worry about others. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask you what you did. So we need to come to the masjid every day, at least once a day, understanding the condition of Muslim living in the West or in Canada. So when we come to Salat al-Jama'ah, number 1 is we learn how to be on time. إن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا موقوتا. It teaches you to be on time, because salah based on time. And if you are late 5 or 10 minutes, you will lose the salah. You will not be able to attend Salat al-Jama'ah. So salah will teach you to be on time. And you see how many people make fun of us and say Muslim times. When you come late to any meeting, say Muslim time. And Islam bari' min hada. Islam has nothing to do with this. Actually Islam does the opposite, because you have to be on time. Even if you are late, 5 minutes maximum, you know. Salah teach us to pray in discipline. نصلي في صفوف متراصة. So it teach us how to stand in rows. And if you start with the second row, and you start from the middle behind the imam, and then you continue to the right hand side, and then you continue to the left side, and so on. These procedures and process a successful key and element in any management. So salah will teach us how to be disciplined, how to work in order. Salah will teach us to select and to elect the best of us, the most qualified person to lead the salah. We choose the best of us, regardless his knowledge, his PhD, his age. أحمد شوقي ليه بيت شعر جميل عشان الإخوة العرب، فيقول إيه: فاختاروا من بينهم ثلاثة لا هرما راعوا ولا حداثة بل نظروا إلى كمال العقل واعتبروا في ذاك سن الفضل. Without translation. So the importance of the most qualified person to be elected is the key, or another important key for any successful work. So we all collectively search for the best to introduce him to be our imam. This is a process that we, the Bedouin in the desert, the shepherd in the mountains, they learn this every day, 5 times a day, how to introduce or how to follow the best one. And nobody will be angry. Actually, people will go back. Why? Because he knows I'm not qualified to this. I will introduce, I will prefer the person who has more knowledge than me. And if you apply this concept in every field, in business, in election, in political process, this will show us that when we introduce someone, we ask him to lead us, he has to be qualified. When we pray behind the imam, we cannot exceed the imam. We cannot go before him. We have to follow him in ruku', we have to follow him in sujood, we have to follow him exactly. And this will teach us as ma'mumin, as followers, husnul ittiba', the good following. We elected the imam and then you don't follow him, doesn't make sense. So salah, practical salah, teaches us that we follow the imam. And then what we do while we are praying, are we sleeping or thinking about our businesses, which has happened many times, and this is why we struggle. But we monitor the imam. And if the imam made a mistake in the Quran, we correct him. If he make any mistake in the salah, we correct him. So the ummah, the people, the followers, following the imam with open eyes, not blindly. And this way, the imam and the followers, in a process, like, you know, he does an action and we monitor him. And if he made a mistake, we correct him. So this monitoring will teach us that in Canada or any place on earth, when the manager make a mistake, you advise him. And you tell him this is wrong. Even rulers, even ministers, nobody is away from mistakes. He may commit a mistake and then we will correct him. And then what will happen when the imam make the mistake and we correct him? He responds. He will correct himself. He will rectify the wrong he did by either repeating the ayah or making sujood as-sahw, you know, or fixing the salah. He has to fix the salah. He has no choice. And when he finishes the salah, he will not be angry with the people who corrected him. He said, don't come to the masjid anymore. He will tell him, thank you, Jazakallah khair. Who corrected me? And he hugged him. And actually, another important thing for the imam, when the imam starts the salah, he will put behind him the most qualified people. لِيَلْيَنِي أُولُو الْأَحْلَامِ مِنْكُمْ أُولُو النُّهَى. Rasulullah in the hadith said, the people who follow me, who are behind me in the first row, are the best minds, are the best memories, are the best values. So if I make a mistake, they correct me. So when you select your deputy, the people who represent you in your absence, has to be good. Subhanallah, many lessons. This is part of the salah that we learn every day, every single day. So subhanallah, when you think about the collective work, the teamwork, and the spirit of the salah, and subhanallah, and you know, in management they used to do workshops. And in this workshop, they don't just deal with the theory, they try to implement any exercise, any practical thing, so people will remember, knowing that people stop reading, knowing what the Arab said long time ago, al-ayan yughni an al-bayan, you know, the visualization will be enough so you don't have to speak, you know. So Salah is doing this. In every aspect in our ibadat, we'll do the same. In Hajj, for example, one benefit of Hajj and the collective work of Hajj, that transmission of information and inventions or ideas. China invented paper long time ago, thousands of years, and it was only in China. No other civilization was able to use the paper. And you know, any other civilization has a lot of things, but because of flow of information, they don't travel a lot. But subhanallah, with Islam and Hajj, Muslims start to travel to Mecca, and Mecca became the center, al-Qura, the center of the villages and cities. So you have scholars and business people coming from Spain, Andalus, people coming from India. They meet in this hub. They came to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but in the same time, what happened is there is benefits, there is sharing of information. So with the Islamic civilization, within 1 year, any invention, any new ideas will be transmitted across the Muslim world or Muslim Ummah within 1 year. This before internet and social media and TV and satellites. People were able, and this was a great transformation in human history, to be able to know what China has and what Spain has, because they can stay for thousands of years and nobody knows about them. Having the Qibla for Salah, having Kaaba for Hajj, is the origin, the center where we rotate around, and when we pray we face this Kaaba. It doesn't teach you as Muslim that we all aim to one goal. We have one goal, is to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through practical aspect, that we have to face al-Kaaba. So when we see us scattered and separated, and everybody is fighting the other group, every jama'ah fighting the other jama'ah, but Salah and Hajj and all these acts of ibadah will teach us to work or towards one goal. So subhanallah, the teamwork spirit was embedded, was built in the Islamic system, the Islamic rules of ibadat and other actions that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made upon us. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى واشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له واشهد ان محمدا عبده ورسوله. Another hadith for Rasul sallam, he said, part of the hadith, فَمَنْ أَرَادَ بُحْبُوحَةَ الْجَنَّةِ فَلْيَلْزَمِ الْجَمَاعَةِ. Whoever seeking the happiness of paradise, he will stick to jama'ah, to the teamwork, to the community. فَإِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ مَعَ الْوَاحِدِ وَمِنَ الْإِثْنَيْنِ أَبْعَدِ. The shaitan will come to the individual, to one person, but he will go far from two, and he will go far from three. And the more we work together, the more we consult each other, the more we work together, the shaitan will go far and far and far. And this beautiful example that Rasul is giving us, you can implement it in your life. Whatever you do, Islamic activity, or you do your business, the more groups, the more people working with you, the better. المثل الرائع يقول إيه: من شاور الناس فقد شاطرهم عقولهم. When you consult people, as if you share their brain, you share their mind, you share their experience. And people should accept the criticism as a positive act. It's not about that you insult someone by giving him an advice, or he will be upset because you talk to me in front of people. And again, there is nothing wrong when you advise people. If the mistake was done in public, it's good to correct it in public. The same way when you pray behind the imam and the imam make a mistake, after salah you go to him, Sheikh, you made a mistake in surah so and so, or you correct him in public. He will not feel embarrassed. He will thank you after salah. So I mean, there's a lot of wrong ideas that we learn and we try to implement. We have to learn how to work together. And it is the key for success. And I give these examples many times. The rain drops. Every drop by itself, of course, has a value. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ said وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ. Allah made from water, every living cell is from water. So even one drop is important, but it doesn't have enough energy and force. But by having all these drops coming together in one river, making falls, making huge energy that we can use from. The atom by itself, if you take one atom of any metal that we use, like iron for example, by itself is nothing. But having the atoms together make the steel that we cannot live without steel right now. So by what? By having all the atoms together. So subhanallah, حتى الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم ده حديث المسلم للمسلم كالبنيان يشد بعضه بعضا. Muslim to a Muslim like a building, like bricks, and every brick will hold to the other brick and make this beautiful wall, this strong wall. So yes, you are unique, no doubt about this, but in the same time you are a brick in a great wall, the great wall of Islam. And even Rasulullah, he gave the example for himself, as when the man said this beautiful house, about the example of him and the prophets, said a great palace, a great house, except this missing brick. Rasulullah said, "Ana mawdi'u hadhihi labina." I am the one who filled this gap. So Islam, this great house of Islam, this great palace of Islam, yes, we need strong bricks, we need strong individuals, but at the end these bricks has to come together. So Salah is teaching us this, Hajj is teaching us, Zakah, many acts of Islam is teaching us how to work together and how to have this teamwork spirit in our life to be successful or muflih in this dunya and in the deen, to have successful life in akhirah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. اللهم ردنا والمسلمين إلى دينك ردا جميلا. اللهم املأ قلوبنا بحبك وحب من أحبك وحب كل عمل يقرب إلى حبك. اللهم اغفر لآبائنا وأمهاتنا إلى أبينا آدم وأمنا حواء واهد ذرياتنا إلى يوم الدين. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين في كل زمان وفي كل مكان. اللهم يسر كل عسير وحرر كل أسير وردهم إلى أهلهم سالمين غانمين. اللهم نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. وقوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمني ويرحمكم.